Hey, everybody. It's Michael from Wahoo Comics here with my special guest, Jacob from Jacob's Comics, with the first of a new video series that we're going to be doing where we are going to create top 10 budget lists together. And so today we're going to get started by talking about our top 10 budget X-Men keys. I'm going to be sharing 5 of my favorite budget keys, and Jacob's going to be sharing 5 of his. And then at the end, again, we're going to come together and make a final list. So Jacob, thanks for coming on the channel. Why don't you introduce yourself and then tell us what's the first of your 5 books?
All right. As always, hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. All right. I'm a comic channel. You can check me out in the link below, I believe. All right, guys. We're going to get dived into this list. Now, my number 5 book and how we're going to do this is I'm going to do a number 5 and he's going to do a number 5, and then we're going to come together to create like a number 9 and a number 10 for the top 10 list. And then, so it'll kind of go like that. All right, guys. So first off, my number 5 is X-Men 169. It's the first Callisto and the Morlocks. And right now, I was able to find on eBay about $10 to $20 as a fair market value on the book. That's what it's selling for. That's what the sold listings, and those are copies like both of us did, about it looking at 8.0 or above. So nice copies of the book, and yeah, 10 to 20 bucks. And my reason for this, being on the list is obviously that is a very low buy-in for a key issue, and Callisto and the Morlocks. So Callisto is basically this leader of the Morlocks, who are a group of mutants that live in the sewers. And, the X-Men come across them at a certain point of time. And it's just a group of characters that I always really liked. I thought the plight of these uglier mutants that didn't fit in with general society, like the more beautiful mutants like Cyclops and Jean Grey, and they had fur, they look like monsters, and so they're kind of hiding in the sewers, and I always kind of connected with that, and I think it's a good book. And with the X-Men Adventures, or X-Men 92, I think they're calling it, coming back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking possibly that these characters might come back on that TV show and introduce another generation to a cool book. And yep, I I actually own the book. I can show the book off as well as
Very nice.
so we that is my number 5.
All right, great pick. For me, I'm going to go with my number 5 as Kitty Pryde and Wolverine number 1. The reason I like this book is, first of all, it's very affordable. You can find copies for under $5 on eBay. And the reasons that I think it's a good pickup is because it's the first title that features Kitty Pryde. Obviously, it's her and Wolverine, so it's not her first solo series. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm big on picking up characters for solo series, and that's going to come into play later. But it is the first Kitty Pryde title. And I think she's been a very underutilized character outside of the comic books. I think she has a real future in the MCU, or maybe in the upcoming animated series. So I like it for that reason. And secondly, it also contains the first appearance of a character called Ogun, who is a mentor to Wolverine. And there's speculation that he's going to be in the upcoming Hulu Hit Monkey series. And so if he is, then I expect this book to jump, in the short term. Like, I don't necessarily think that's going to make a long-term difference, but he might be able to make some money on a quick flip. So that's number 5 for me, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine number 1. So Jacob, what do you think? Which one's 9 and which one's 10?
I gotta bow to that one. Honestly, I gotta bow out. I think that's a good choice. It's half the cost of my key, and has a bit more upside to it, right?
Yeah.
I want to say that even if we get Callisto in the animated series, that it's not going to do a whole lot for the Callisto key and the Morlocks. I feel like we really would need to see them in the movie franchise
Sure.
in 10 years and so that's quite a ways off, and it's just you can't. I feel like that's a lot more unpredictable, and I feel like there's a better chance that when we get the X-Men movies, that Kitty Pryde is one of the characters they choose.
Yeah, I do hope
Um,
she's in the movies at some
I
point.
feel
Yeah.
like there's a better chance, just a better chance of her being chose than Calypso, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, and at a
Yeah.
lower buy-in.
Yeah, well, you made my points for me. Yeah, I actually like your book quite a bit. You know, you had told
Yeah.
me the books on your list beforehand, and your book was actually going to be on my list originally. So it's kind of an interesting for me. It's like, are we talking about short term or long term? Uh, I think short term, there is that potential that Ogun is in, and so you could flip this book pretty
Mhm.
quickly if that's the case. And like you said, I mean, the really attractive thing about that book is that it has such a low buy-in at this time.
Yeah.
Uh, and
I
but long term,
like
I
the
love
cover
the
too.
169. Say
I
that
like the
again.
cover too.
Yeah, it does have a beautiful cover. That whole series has some really nice
Yeah.
covers. Number 5 is also a great cover. And so, yeah, it is a really. I mean, I bet all these are going to be tough. But
That's and
go
cover
ahead.
plays
Yeah,
covers play a part in this hobby.
yeah,
And I mean, if you showed it off on screen, or it's cool.
yeah.
It's also got a big black
Right. It's
area with a raven drawn there,
right.
and it's just
It's not my
it's
favorite
not for
X-Men. It's not my
everybody.
favorite X-Men cover, but I do love it. I
Exactly.
do love it. You know,
Exactly.
something I'll talk about. This will actually get into my next one in just a minute. I love investing in books that have multiple first appearances,
Hmm.
and just multiple reasons to be a key. You know, even Kitty Pryde, like us, you know, the one I picked here, it's only got one first appearance, but it has multiple keys
It
being
has
the Kitty
another
Pryde.
first appearance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like, uh, you know,
Who's
it's
the
just one of those hit that it could
here's my
be.
problem is who's the breakout Morlock?
Yeah, I think that is a real problem with the Morlocks as a potential. But
Callisto.
yeah, but yeah,
That's why her name's separate
right,
on the key from the
right.
Morlocks, because
Yeah, she's the
she's the
leader.
breakout Morlock character, and I
Yeah,
don't think there was another one.
yeah,
That
yeah. Nothing. Yeah, like her. You know, a couple of
right.
smaller, like you know, kind of the kid. Like I
Mhm.
think Leech was one. Yeah, he's a little bigger than some of the others, but Callisto
He was on the
definitely her.
cartoon, wasn't he?
He was. I think I'm almost certain that he
I think
was. Yeah.
so. Oh man.
All right. Well,
All
well,
right.
I'll agree with you here. Yeah, and
Okay.
we'll say 10 is Uncanny X-Men 169, 9 Kitty Pryde and Wolverine number 1. So tell me what's next on your list.
All right. So next in my on my list, I have New Mutants 16, and it's the first appearance of John Proudstar, otherwise known as Warpath. And I mean, I think I picked a really good one on this one. There are sold copies $5 to $10. And as we've been saying, that in about an 8.0 looking or above, nice color pop, $5 to $10. That's really good price. Um, Also, I want to point out with Warpath that he is, in my opinion, he's the biggest, most well-known Native American character in comics. I honestly can't think of a bigger Native American character than him. And pop a comment below, guys, if you can think of a bigger Native. There might be some out there, and I'm wrong, mate. But yeah, I think he's also a really cool character, who's been around for a long time, and yeah, I mean, he's currently, again, he's a character that's currently in ongoing titles right now, and definitely has a possibility as one of the characters that could be chose when the MCU kicks off their movie franchise. And yeah.
Fantastic pick. Another one that I would love to bid on my list. The next one for me is Uncanny X-Men 229. This is another book that you can pick up for $5 to $10 on eBay. And this contains a couple of first appearances. Again, I like multi-key books. That's the first appearance of the Reavers, who are this kind of bad guy team that support Donald Pierce. They're these cyborgs that hunt mutants. I think their story is just really interesting. I always like bad guys, and the cyborgs obviously kind of enhance humans trying to stave off mutants, rise. They're really interesting, and some of this is recency bias for me. Like we talked about the X-Men animated series. I've been watching through that with my kids, and the most recent episodes we watched had the Reavers in them. And then I also watched Logan, the movie with my wife a couple of weeks ago, and the Reavers are also in there. They're a little different than they are in the comics, but it's still the Reavers. So I like them. It also has the first appearance of Gateway, who is this, he can open gateways, and teleport people. He's we're talking about like Native American heroes. He's an Aboriginal hero. There are very few, if any. I think there's one other one. I know, I don't know if it's his son or if it's like from the same area. Manifold. I don't know if you know this, or somebody in the comments can say. And then another obscure character's first appearance that I don't really know much about, and I'm not banking on him. But after Arthur Harrow showed up in Moon Knight, it's like anybody that's in comics can be there. It's a character named Tiger, who's a crime lord in Madripoor. So who knows, if they do some kind of Wolverine anthology series and they show up in Madripoor, maybe they throw out Tiger. So that's my pick. I'm going to you shared your winner last time, Jacob. This time I'm going to concede because I think these are very similar books. You mentioned New Mutant 16 is so good because it's got Proud Star in it. I'm pretty sure this is right. But I think it's not just his first appearance, but I think it contains the first appearance of some other Hellions. I don't know them off the top of my head, which ones those are. Empath, maybe. I don't know who.
Yeah,
can you read them off? Does it say them all on there?
It doesn't say them on here. Okay. Nope. I thought, but I do know that you can see them on the cover.
Right.
One of them.
Yeah.
There's another one, and there's another one, and there's another one.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like these are similar books. They contain these kind of several first appearances from these teams. But what I really like about yours is that even though the Hellions are kind of bad guys, originally Proud Star obviously becomes a hero, and heroes generally do better in the market than villains, especially long term. So Proud Star really sticks out, and so I'm going to, for my vote, I'm going to put that one at number 7. I will say, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. You asked about Native American heroes. I think Forge is Native American. Do you know if that's right or not? The X-Men Forge. You guys can chime in.
Right.
I think
you're right.
He would be another one. Yeah, they're both kind of comparable, probably in their importance. But he's another cool one to be looking for.
He's a really cool X-Men character.
Yes, he's awesome.
All
right. So what do you think, Jacob? What would you put number 7?
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you. I was going to keep arguing for Warpath.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I thought my book was better.
Yeah, he's the difference maker in those two.
He's just a cool character, and I have some recency bias as well. He's been showing up in the current X-Men runs, and his brother was just, I don't know if you've been reading them, but they have the resurrection protocols, and they can kind of resurrect anybody they want. So yeah, they resurrected his brother Thunderbird.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
I think
pretty sure that's right.
So they resurrected Thunderbird, and so there's some kind of stuff going on there where he looked up to Thunderbird, and
Mhm.
sort of he doesn't feel like he's lived up to the legacy
Mm.
that his brother left for him when his brother died, and so he's sort of like ashamed. And it's just there's a good read right now. I'm sorry, they
Yeah. Yeah.
they got me into the character.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, we have our
Yeah.
number 8 is Uncanny X-Men 229. Number 7, New Mutants 16. All right. Give us the next book on your list.
All right. The next one is, yep, it's a good one. So my next book up is X-Men 244, and it's the first appearance of everybody's favorite Jubilee, otherwise known as Jubilation Lee. And she's just one of those characters that I think a lot of us remember from the cartoon. That's she was a character that was originally created for the cartoon, I believe, or 89. That doesn't seem right because
I
that's a
think,
nine. It's
yeah, I
yeah.
think, yeah, we'll have to look into that.
I yeah, maybe she just wasn't used that much, but I know once she
Hmm.
was used in the cartoon.
Right.
Oh, I know what it is. The cartoon was the first time to use her iconic pink sunglasses
Mm.
and the yellow trench coat. And then she has another like first suit appearance later in the X-Men. So this is her first appearance. And I mean that might actually be her on the cover then, in
Mhm.
kind of that Magneto outfit. I think that honestly is her, because everyone else I can name, it's Rogue, Storm, and Dazzler. So it's probably her in her original outfit. Yeah,
Mhm.
she's just a really cool character that a lot of us remember from that iconic X-Men cartoon, and her later appearances after she became very popular in the cartoon. She had a minor appearance in the Fox movies, but I kind of think that she's one of those characters that has so much potential for MCU. And when the MCU happens, and she's this is just my 2 cents on it. You need a perspective character. And
Mhm.
the Fox franchises, they used Rogue.
Mhm.
And I feel like and the MCU is going to want to do it their way, which is going to be a different way. But who's to say that they can't borrow from the X-Men cartoon, which was also extremely popular? And in the X-Men cartoon, that was your initial, if you remember like the first 3 or 4 episodes, that was your initial view character, the character that kind of brought you into it. Like this is, and if she is that view
Yeah.
character, then the the sky's the limit
Right.
basically,
Yeah.
because she's just a really cool character. And if they put her front and center as the main character that you see the X-Men through, which she's not super mutanty, she just shoots you know fireworks from her fingers.
Right. Right.
She's
Yeah.
not the She's kind of like Dazzler. Like
Yep.
honestly, she doesn't
Yep.
have the coolest superpowers in the world, but that's what makes her unique, is that she can then be that character that everybody identifies with.
Mhm.
I kind of went on really long.
Yeah.
I'll let you I'll let you give your
Yeah.
book.
Yeah. No, great pick again. My pick here is X-Men number 5, the second volume. This is another book you can find between $5 and $10 on eBay right now. It was a lot higher a year ago, but it's really come down. This has 2 components to it being a key. It's the first
Mhm.
cover appearance of Omega Red, who's a very popular bad guy. And that's really the reason it jumped in price a year ago. There's a lot of speculation that he was going to be in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. What is it? Jim Lee cover. And just an awesome battle cover with Wolverine. And then additionally, it contains the first appearance of Maverick, who is part of the Weapon X program. He eventually becomes Agent Zero. And really, I think there's just so much untapped potential in the Weapon X storyline, in a Disney Plus show. I think it's too big and complicated to do in a movie. I mean, maybe you have a small thing, but you could really explore that in a show. And maybe I'm just being hopeful, and I want that show to happen. But if you do that, then you can introduce all these characters that are kind of tied together by the program. Obviously, be very Wolverine centric, but because that book is really on a decline right now, I think it's super undervalued. So, what do you think, Jacob? Which one of these deserves the 5 spot, and which has to drop back to 6?
Okay, I have a question. I don't think I went over it. I was able to find the values on my book in raw, in a nice grade, above 8.0 looking. They're about $30 to $50. So Jubilee is a bit more of a pricey book. What were you able to find on
Now it's at 5 to 10. It had been a lot more a year ago, but it's really dropped.
10.
Number 4 has
5 to
dropped a lot
10.
too. I don't think it's dropped quite that much, which is his first actual appearance, but they're both really good books to be picking up.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It is because Jubilee is such a cool character that's why the $30 to $40 for the book.
Yeah.
But Maverick's an unsung character. Like he's deathly cool. And he's one of those kind of characters that, look what they did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Who thought Star-Lord was the coolest guy?
Sure.
10 years ago. I don't put it past Marvel to grab a Maverick who has a catchy name.
Sure. Yeah.
And again, they kind of do like to take those characters sometimes, because then they can mold them into what they want without the fans being extremely angry at, oh, you've taken this character that we've loved and changed him. That is hard, because I truly believe Jubilee will be a focus this time. If not our viewpoint character, I truly think she will actually be on the team. Man, I don't know.
It's a tough one. I agree. It's very tough.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, if the books are at the same price,
cover.
Yeah, if it's the same price, it's a no-brainer, $244, I think. But there is a big price difference.
There's a big price difference. That's what's making me. That's what's making me hesitant. Is
right.
Super cool Jim Lee cover.
Yeah.
Multi-key. So Omega Red's first full cover. Not just tentacles.
Right. You do kind of see a hand and tentacles. You're right. Yeah.
In the prior issue, it's like tentacles and Wolverine.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's really tough. I'm really curious, because in this, I'm really curious how this animated series is going to work. Like, is it going to be kind of the same X-Men that you and I think we probably, we haven't talked about this, but I'm guessing we're close to the same age. They probably both grew up, at least before graduating high school, watching that show. And it's such a big part of what I think of when I think of the X-Men and the ones that I love. And we're going to be the ones, though, that are going to be, excited about this show. And so are they going to, basically bring back most of that cast? Is Jubilee going to be in that? Because she's clearly, she was the perspective character of that animated show, right? That's who everything was through her eyes, really. Is that going to be the same, or are they going to have a whole different group of people? I'm hopeful that it's going to be not the exact same X-Men characters, but at least had this resurgence, because a lot of those characters, they were so big then. And I feel like in the comics now, Jubilee really doesn't have a big role. And there's someone I'm going to bring up later that I think, compared to, the excitement over them when we were reading those comics, the excitements, they're not that important in the comics, but they still have a huge following. Like, people still love Jubilee, even though her role, I think, in modern comics is pretty low. So I think, I'm hopeful they'll bring her back. I hope, I want them to, at least. But yeah, that price tag is quite different.
Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to concede, but it's super close.
Okay, yeah, it is super close. Since it's my channel, you can default to me on this half of the video.
No, I'll tell you what changed my mind, or just ever hangs X-Men 5 over 244 for me. The cover is just that much better.
Yeah, that is true. It's a much better cover.
It's an much better cover.
Yeah. And like you said earlier,
244's cover. 240 now 240. Don't get me wrong. 244's cover is iconic.
Yeah,
it is, but it's also.
Yeah, Jubilee isn't the focus of it, right? I mean, Omega Red, that is an Omega Red cover. Like, if I looked at 244, I'd be like, oh, that's a Jubilee cover, right? I wouldn't.
If you had 244 and it was first appearance of Jubilee, and it was drawn on there by Jim Lee,
right,
with pink goggle glasses and a yellow trench coat, you're not arguing me off the off the $50 price tag.
I agree.
I'm keeping that. But yeah, that cover, I don't know. I think the first time I saw it, I thought it was a girl Magneto.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was her.
Yeah. Well, I'll agree with you here. That the cover, the cover will be the tiebreaker. Yeah. So number 6 we'll have X-Men 244, and number 5 X-Men the second volume, number 5. All right. So we've got numbers 10 through 6 or 10 through 5 down the tubes. We're going to end the video on my channel here, but in a few days we're going to release the rest of the top 10 on Jacob's channel, and then you can also see the full top 10 list there. The link is going to be in the description, so go check out his channel, subscribe to him. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd obviously appreciate that as well. We're both trying to get to 300 subscribers, so I'd appreciate any of your help in getting there. But I really enjoyed the video, and I'm looking forward to getting through the next 4 with you, Jacob. Any last thing you want to say before we sign off?
No, just watch the rest of the top 10. You guys want to know who wins, right? Who's number 1?
Yep.
What book gets number 1? All right.
Yeah, be on the lookout for it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you soon.